What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to what is, it's a bit of a disaster, isn't it? It's Sunday night, all right? It's Sunday night. Let's try and start off on a marginally okay footing, all right? Let's call it an okay footing as opposed to what it actually is a fucking disaster. But anyway, more about that in a little bit. I hope you all had a good weekend. Certainly the markets were holding up. There was definitely a sentiment of, hey, we might be okay. And then Trump, Canada, Senate Democrats, everyone else has gone, no, you are not having a good week in the crypto markets. It is an important week, though. We'll talk about what that is. We'll show you some charts that I think are really interesting and certainly interesting to get into as well. Also, these are definitely the times where it's a make or break, in my opinion, all right? So we're either going to see the markets totally roll over and it's over, and the bear market's here, and we should have all sold in October, 2 weeks after I said the top was coming in, or, as many people have been saying, this is the final, this is like Luke and Darth Vader, and he's like, Luke, I am your father, and then the market's like going, oh my God, Darth Vader's his dad, but actually it turns out that it's fine, and that the I was going to say the Shadow Realm then, but I don't mean the Shadow Realm, everything's fine, and Luke becomes the Skywalker Jedi that he should be. Maybe that's where we're at right now. Hey bro, it's me, 3M in India guy. What's going on, buddy? Welcome to you, Behave. Get in the building. Tim's here, Fatsonics here. Welcome in. Kevin, good to see you, buddy. Welcome as always. Don't forget the like and subscribe button. We'll get into everything that's going on. Some very, very interesting charts, though, that in my opinion, as Johnny Howie just said, thank you, Damien, appreciate it. If this may be a buy opportunity. If you didn't catch my Bitcoin video earlier on, definitely should have checked it out, because I definitely think there is some argument to say that upside is coming. At the same time, like I said, the altcoin markets are getting demolished. All right? They're getting demolished. All right, so let's get into it. It's going to be worth it. We'll talk about the charts. You come over here, TikTok. Like I said, I can't make it work any other way other than this. So I apologize, but I probably can take you in a little bit further, actually. If I do that, then you're kind of in a pretty good place. You just have to listen to me ribbit on. But yeah, but hope you all had a good weekend. We'll get into, like I said, everything and everything. What happened with crypto? Well, we're just about to talk about it, because it's a lot of macro stuff and it's a lot of uncertainty that may all play out okay. I mean, it's lots of, maybe, ifs, buts, whatever it is. Stanton's in the building. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. The X-Riddler. Good to see you, man. XRP 150, HBAR 09. XLM at 19. Great buys, boys and girls. I mean, you're probably not wrong in fairness. I mean, look at some of these moves. Monad at 1 cent 7 is insane. Arrow at 43. We'll take a look at staking rewards, by the way, and Aerodrome. But let's get into what's going on with BTC right now. This was the trend line that we had drawn on here that we have absolutely demolished. We broke loads of market structure right now, which generally isn't good. What's going on, Gonzalo? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. Which generally isn't good, all right? Let's just call it as it is. We were hoping for higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. No, yeeter. And we are obviously heading down, which is not great. And we were hoping for probably a little bit more of a move than we got. If you think about kind of where this market's been, you could argue it's sort of that. And we've been kind of tracing within this range. Maybe it's a tad higher, actually. Maybe it's more there. We've been sort of trading within this range, following a very, very obvious pattern. Come into the range, retest the higher, come back down, bubble between, and then we come down. This is the problem. This wick here is the problem that we need to work out. Now, also, if you say, well, hold on a minute, 2-bit, because here was a real relief rally. What does that then take us down to? So you can see here, if we Fibonacci this, the 236 is at 86,787. This is a last ditch hope. You can see here how well respected this level is. Lose this on the close. Bear in mind, we are obviously heading to the weekly close as well as just the general close itself. Then this could be all bad news as we sort of play through this. So we are looking for this, Bitcoin to push back up a little bit higher. 86, 87 is probably an ideal scenario. If we can get to 87, I'd be way happier than where we are. But we'll talk about why this is, and we'll talk about what could come this week to support it. Harlem says, I'm about to give up on crypto. We ain't ever getting an ETH all-time high season soon. I mean, we will get one. It just might not be for another year, but, well, maybe October, the end of this year, but I'm ready for more dumpage. See, that's the thing. Lots of people are, in fairness, and I have actually got my Bitunix account open because I thought maybe we could have a look at some potential trades. I did actually trade this dip, by the way. So you can see here, I got in at 88. That was a little bit higher, like 88,950, I think it was. It was basically on an uptrend wick that I was like, all right, take the opportunity, buy in here, look. And then, you know, it actually hit my, take profit, which was kind of wild. But this is a nice little trade, about $1,000, nothing super crazy, but about 16%. But I've got my Bitunix account up. So we'll take a look at maybe taking some trades on and see what that looks like as well. By the way, if you want to trade with Bitunix, don't forget we got an exclusive partnership with them. And it's definitely worth your time, by the way. They've got some insane offers, 50% rebates. You can just come over here, check out the link in the description. It's also in our pinned Discord in my bio. But lots of good stuff going on with Bitunix. Is that actually is that the one? Maybe it's not that. Maybe that's not the one I need, actually. Hold on a minute. Yeah, sorry, that's what it is, yeah. You can see that in just 6 days left. So check it out. Definitely worth mine. So again, we might get into a little bit. We'll see that plays out. But again, Fibonacci is kind of doing what Fibonacci's do. We just have this push down. Now, one thing I've been looking at, and I was trying to see what was going on, just to give you a bit of a flavor, maybe, of what's happening out there in La Mercedes, was there is a substantial amount of BTC on the move, but not from where you would think it is. Obviously, a lot of discussion is going on from like, oh, maybe it's Wintermute dumping, or oh, maybe it's someone else. What's going on, Casey? Good to see you, man. I see you on both screens as well. Thanks for the heart, mate. Appreciate it. Thanks for the follows, everybody. We're just about to break 4,000 on the follows, so I appreciate you guys for hitting that. Let me just change TikTok just so you guys can see it a little bit better here. So this is obviously movement of significant amounts of BTC. This is anything over 10 milli. So you can see recently, about 40 minutes ago, when we started to see all this dumping, Wintermute was moving some stuff around. What's super interesting here is just loads of generic wallets were moving huge amounts of Bitcoin around. You can see Coinbase moving a little bit around, moving some liquidity. Maybe they're getting ready for this week. I don't know. Wintermute moving a bit around to Binance, but some of these bigger moves were wallet to wallet. Now, yeah, again, an OG wallet dumping about $1.3 billion. When markets opened, you get ready to buy because drop going to be, yeah, I think we'll look at the futures, but yeah, I think that's why I went in the short, in fairness, because I thought market open, sentiment's terrible, and everyone thinks the government's going to shut down, which has come out of left field-ish. So yeah, I think we're going to see some pretty heavy selling when that market opens. We'll take a look at the pre-markets, like we said, when we get into it a little bit later on. But yeah, I was hoping, like, I even moved my take profit down. Like, I moved it down. I was like, man, I think this market's going to dump hard, which could be the last big Black Swan event, maybe, all that kind of stuff. At the same time, it is worth being very, very mindful. So you can see a lot of Bitcoins being moved around. What's super interesting here is it isn't in the wallets that it got moved. So for example, $43 million got moved into this wallet. This then got moved into this wallet. This wallet then chucked it to Coinbase and sold it, all right, over the course of a number of wallets. So there's kind of a lot of stuff going on right now where you've got all these big wallets moving loads of Bitcoin around and then exiting their positions. Maybe they know what's coming, by the way. I bet privacy coins rip. Well, we'll take a look at Monero could be on a discount right now. That's like a 40% dump right now. And Zcash, we've sort of discussed a little bit, but worthwhile watching this. So again, for me, it's all about the close. We close above 87,000. It's like, okay, we're all right. We still have some macro trends going on, but at the same time, if we close below that, then, we got to be realistic here and say, well, what is the catalyst that's going to drive the market? What is the thing that boosts us back up? And maybe it's the government shutdown, maybe not. All right, we'll have to kind of wait and see. So we'll touch a little bit more back on the charts. I want to run through some really, really important charts. I'm not going to go too much into altcoins. ETH, again, hasn't lost the support, so I'm actually a bit more bullish on ETH than maybe people think I should be, because we've had some nice bounce off this lower support range here around 27.61. Lose this where ETH might get a little bit tasty, but as it stands right now, this support level on ETH has actually held up pretty well in comparison to where we've been. So I'm not stressing it yet on Ethereum. Sol looks like it's on a discount right now and is about to break this lower support around 117. So watch out. Sol might be heading down. Proper $100 retest on Solana, which, could be interesting if you're that way inclined. XRP may be giving some gains up as well, albeit, once again, market structure looks okay for XRP. A bounce here, and we might actually be in a reasonable position to see this week through. And like I said, there's quite a bit coming in this week that we need to be aware of as we walk through that as well. Rest of the altcoin market's getting absolutely demolished. Namely, Aster, Willoughby Finance, both down about 9%, which is disappointing. Canton, I don't know if you took any profits on your trade, Craig. Obviously it wicked up to 16, which would have been wild, especially if you trade the momentum here. That was like best part of, what was it? I think it topped out around, about 8%, which is bullish. So hopefully you took a little bit off the cards, off the table with that. But like we said, Monero definitely showcasing maybe 100 EMA retest here on Monero might be the option to get in there. And memes are getting absolutely pummeled, by the way. absolutely pummeled. Watch out though, pump down to the 0.5 Fibonacci at 238. I was looking at this. We talked about this yesterday as well. Sorry, we talked about this Friday, didn't we? Just in terms of some of these coins that we were looking at as potential trade opportunities. And look at pump, perfectly respects the 0.5 Fibonacci, retests the 786 and gets totally rejected all the way back to the 0.5. So if the market holds up, then look, this absolutely may do. Are you liquidated, Craig, or are you still in, by the way? That's the if you're still in, then you might be all right, but it depends. But again, look at this. So from the 0.5 at 2385, pump might actually start to give us a little bit more to the upside. But if you're ever in any doubt, okay, and if you're brand new to trading, maybe you're brand new to the crypto markets, maybe you're not sure about anything. If you were ever in doubt to understand where sentiment is right now, are people bullish on cryptocurrency or are people absolutely adverse? A little bit like when you try and put a cat in water and it like flips or a dog in water and they lift the legs up. Look at gold futures, look absolutely insane. Look like they're about to break 5,000. Gold looks like it's going to push over that. Silver looks even crazier, by the way, with silver futures looking like they're going to open up 5% higher. Oh, you bought it at spot? Right, okay. I think you'll be fine then at spot trading, if I'm dead honest. And then copper starting to move as well. We were watching this the other day. So futures on copper look like they're going to open 3. So commodities, particularly metals, are about to print again. Now, I'll talk a little bit about why I think this is a ticking time bomb that people are neglecting. Again, if you didn't see my video earlier on, it talks about why BlackRock is exiting ETFs, in my opinion, by the way, built on reason and facts, because I went and researched it pretty aggressively last night. But when you look at what BlackRock are doing, they're piling money into mining operations. They are mining gold like it's going out of fashion. Why? Because it's the hot narrative. People think gold's going to 5,500. I absolutely, as I sit here talking to you guys, believe that this will at some point roll over and gold will take a dump. And that is, for me, when the moment the markets change and Bitcoin risk on certainly maybe comes an opportunity. But gold right now, definitely skyrocketing. Like we said, the futures look like they're going to open pretty aggressively as well. So keep your eyes peeled on that. In my opinion, there's going to be pretty interesting moves all around metals. And then look, the rest of it, stocks look like they're going to open pretty flat. With the Japanese yen moving up a little bit, Craig, 180, 116 on the day, which is interesting as well. So overall market pants, and I think it will get worse, just my opinion. So we want to kind of see BTC push back up in the next 2 or 3 hours. Maybe we start to get a little bit more of an optimistic view as to where we get to. That will offset potentially what's going to come when the markets open. By the way, we'll take a look at the futures markets. We'll take a look at those when they open, all right? Because they're going to be, I think, not great, all right? Good, okay. All right. Is it this one? Okay, yeah, cool. Maybe that's not it. All right. All right, oh, that's what I want. That's what I want. I got it. All right, cool. We'll take a look at that in a minute. All right, Paddy has to learn to move his head. Yeah, I didn't see the fight in fairness, but it looked like an all right fight, to be honest. It looked like an all right fight, but yeah, he held it gracefully. Let's call it that. All right, let's get into it then. So let's understand why markets are absolutely tanking to oblivion, and then let's understand what our opportunities then sit post this. So stick with me, TikTok. Like I said, I did try and get you on the actual thing so you could see the screen, but I just can't make it work, all right? So you're just going to have to sit there and talk to me. But what is going on right now? Well, there's a couple of key things that's happening. The main reason is US government shutdown. Oh, come on, bro. This was just not a thing, was it? Wasn't a thing until all of this stuff that's going on in Minnesota is absolutely causing severe problems in the market. Now, I don't want to get political. It's not my place to do it. I don't even live in the US, so I feel like I don't really get a say in the matter. But look at this. Basically, I believe it's Chuck Schumer that's come in and said, we are going to oppose any funding for ICE and Department of Homeland Security. And the Democrats have then said, we'll shut the government down, which is insane if you think about it, right? And again, I don't want to get political, but you're almost saying, like, to voters, oh, we're going to, whenever we don't like something, we're going to close it down. Again, I don't want to get political about it, but remember, markets don't necessarily disagree with the policies. They disagree with fundamental uncertainty. That's the problem. So we've gone from the low of a potential 9% on government shutdown, right? No one cares. Everyone's like, government's going to shut down. They passed loads of funding bills. Everything was fine. And then all this stuff in Minnesota has gone on. Obviously, there's been another shooting, which is never great, by the way. Never great. And, you know, that's a topic for a totally different conversation. But It's then spiked. They've essentially said we're closing the government down. January the 30th, we'll touch on it a little bit more, but this is what's absolutely driving markets down. And Donald Trump essentially saying he's going to put tariffs on Canada of 100%. Now, the Canada-China thing's fallen through, I believe. I don't necessarily think that the Canada is going with a China deal. It's more like the UK is going to go in one, but again, topic for a different video, maybe even a different live stream. But these are two very big things that are driving markets. Also, a massive wave of liquidation. Call me surprised, all right? Happens all the time. People never learn. I kind of got to this point now, and you know me, I am not an individual of negativity. I don't live in the world of my glass is half empty versus half full, right? I don't live in that world, but I am almost in the point right now where if you are going super max leverage on longs and you get wrecked on these markets, you deserve it, all right? I can't help you, in my opinion. If you're going to absolutely over leverage yourself, let me give you just a sentiment of the short I took earlier on. It was with about, I don't know, maybe like $4,000 a margin at an 8x short, right? Which gave me a liquidation price on the short of about $93,000. You're like, that's fine. Stop loss tight, 150, no risk, all right? Move the stop loss up. Once it started to drop, move the stop loss up. So it's basically whatever it's going to play out, 150, actually wicked down and took my TP1, which is fine. But if you are super over leveraged, just look at the numbers, $600 million in longs in the last 24 hours versus $50 million in shorts. We don't even see this in bad days when markets pump. So yeah, why is it crashing? Government shutdown nervousness, leverage flush out, Canada and China. That is in a nutshell those three things as to why it's coming through. But we'll talk a little bit more about a couple of other things that may be driving this. So you would think then, okay, with all of that flush out, maybe then, oh, that's not what I wanted. Maybe then we start to get into a world of saying, oh, that will look, in fact, that look kind of funky, actually. Let's have a look at that. Was it this one? They dump, stall, let people load up, and then dump longs again. Yeah, I mean, that's the playbook as old as time, isn't it? So again, here's the BTC leverage out. So you can see there the big flush from this low end liquidity. You could argue and say, well, given where we are right now, that liquidity has been kind of flushed out. And actually, we now might start to bring back to the upside, like the shorts. Again, we'll see. But you look at this, total domination of leverage flush out here. So we wiped out this big flush out band here around 87.8. We took the next bit out around 87. And then this bottom range, we're now flat. So we might come back to the upside. But the same as always, as Holmes says, Sunday dump. Yeah, the same as a Sunday pump can't be trusted. A Sunday dump definitely can't be trusted as well. Low liquidity, easy to move these markets. And there is some good things coming this week. We'll touch on it in just a minute, so stick around. But the cryptocurrency suffered most liquidations of Ethereum, 182 million, Bitcoin, 176, and Solana, around $60 million as well. Now, when I looked into the ETFs, they actually look like they're going to be net neutral tomorrow. So nothing super crazy. BlackRock looked like it's going to be pretty flat, but worthwhile noting on the back of it. Now, couple of interesting things going on. Confidence has now returned to negative. Everyone's like, oh, the markets are going to go freaking zero. Remember, we touched on this the other day. Fear and greed index. We looked at it in a bit more of a macro trust element. And actually, fear and greed's just plummeted over the last 2 or 3 days. Again, back to 34, as you can see here, pushing down as well. The decline in sentiment does not create favorable environments for sustaining consistent short-term demand. Well, exactly. It's pretty obvious. How we doing? What's going on, Scott? Good to see you, man. Welcome in. But what it does create is lots of positives for metals. If you are in metals, I'm not, but again, just gives you an idea of kind of where this is. But look at this in terms of market relative volatility as well. So you've got loads of volatility in some of these higher net assets. They might not be in the super short term, but you can see there just where we are as a relative volatility, i.e. the lower the number, the higher the volatility. Just FYI, it's a little bit counterintuitive. But the perspective, most major currencies are currently trading with volatility levels below their weekly and even annual averages. So although we have seen outspoken, well, it's not outspoken, is not the right word, trading volatility within the top tier cryptocurrencies, it's still actually relatively to where we were last year and probably relative to where we've been. But worth noting here that actually this is where, traders like to play. This is where grid trading bots, by the way, very, very good. Again, if you want me to do a video on that, let me know. By the way, keep asking all your questions. By the way, TikTok, bringing it in fresh. Would you buy BTC now? No, because I think it's going to get loads worth. Stick around. I'm going to talk about it in just a minute. I heard of buying a silver and a bad sign would economy would go. Well, my view, Blake, by the way, is that you are depreciating your potential risk versus reward. I think gold and silver right now are high risk, in my opinion, because they're hugely over on every technical metric you look at. Could they go higher? Of course they could. But you are diminishing you're increasing your risk if you're buying it now. Like I said, people could have said that at 3,500 and it's still gone. People have said that about $80 on silver and it's still going. So could it go higher? Yes. But again, it's a little bit like, what's the word I would use? It's a little bit like Kaplunk or I can't think of another one. Booking Bronco. I don't know if you guys ever played that, but the more and more you add to it, the more likely you are to lose it, all right? It's just important to think about. Now, BTC is trying to rally back up. Remember, 87,000 would be a good close for us if we can get that. But let's double down a little bit on this government shutdown. And I want to show what happened last time as well, right? Because I think it's important. This is not a good thing. Or these levels, rather. I mean, there's definitely some bargains out there. We've just been talking here on TikTok, on YouTube, by the way, that privacy coins may get a run. For me, you've got to see what the market opens. Futures open for US markets in 2 hours and 45 minutes. Last time we saw this, you got a dump of 23% over the period of about 40 days. So I actually think we might see further pushing down. So definitely worthwhile. V, you're probably right at this moment in time. Now, there is some things coming this week, though, that may shake it up. And I want to show you a couple of really important charts we get through it. But another government shutdown is looming, as we talked about. Polymarket we've looked at, but Democrats in the US Senate threatened to block a spending bill for the Department of Homeland Security, increasing the risk of partial government shutdown. That might be the little bit of savior, that it ends up being a partial government shutdown as opposed to a full shutdown. We'll get a little more detail, but this is obviously on the back of the stoof in Minnesota, right? I'm not going to go into all of it, but the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, in a statement via X, said the Democrats were demanding common sense reform in the DHS spending bill, but because Republicans refused to stand up to President Trump, the bill was far from curbing abuses in ICE application. Schumer stated that they would therefore vote no on the bill, adding that there is, as long as DHS funding was included in the package, Democrats would not vote to move the process forward. So, again, we'll see. Now, I don't know too much about all this kind of stuff, and I don't know, I mean, we could look at it actually. So I heard something which was to abolish or get rid of the filibuster, which I assuming some way of, let's find out what it is. What is the US filibuster and how does it work? If you guys know how it works, by the way, tell me what it is. The filibuster is essential legislation stall tactic used in the United States Senate to delay or block a vote on a bill. Think of it as an ultimate holding the floor move to prevent a piece of legislation from moving forward. While it's often depicted in the movies and single senator standing, taking for 24 hours straight, which I guess is what Hakeem Jeffries did recently, the modern version is much more bureaucratic. The Senate must rule require a simple majority, 51 votes to pass a bill. However, Senate rules also allow for an unlimited debate to end the debate and actually move to the vote. The magic number under the current rules is 350, so 60 out of 100 senators to invoke cloture and end the filibuster. Okay, so I mean, they could kind of do it, I guess, maybe. This is what's going to happen. I assume probably Trump's going to come out and say that the filibuster isn't a constitution. It involved the Senate rules intended to protect the rights of the minority party, ensuring that the slim majority can't steamroll major legislation without some level of bipartisan support. So the nuclear option will be over the years. The power of filibuster has been chipped away. The nuclear option is the parliamentary procedure used to override the 60-vote requirements with a simple majority. Currently, the filibuster cannot be used for executive branch, federal judiciary appointments, and certain budget-related bills. They're also called the reconciliation. So I don't know if it is one or not, but we'll see. You'll see. Joe says Senate is not 51-49, it's 60-40. Right, okay. Crypto regs in 2089. Yeah, wild. Okay. So that, I guess that's on the cards. Maybe that's on the cards as it comes out, but certainly that's why we're seeing this market do what it's doing. Just to give you an idea of what happened last time, by the way, the 43 days the government was shut down saw Bitcoin drop 24.83% in value. All right. If you think about where let's be generous to ourselves and go from 89, so 24.3%, just to give you an idea of what that would look like, takes us to basically 67,500, which is the lower end of what we believe the bottom of the bear market would look like. So let's say they shut it down for a month, takes us to March, you end up 65K, we start to work our way back up maybe. That would actually align to previous market cycles as well. Let's hope we got to get to that point, but that is essentially what happened last time, and that is the push down that we got. And actually, we did go lower post that as well. So, you know, this is a bad news, all right? It's a bad news. So we'll see how it all plays out. There's lots of debate right now. I believe lots of Republicans have been together. And I guess we'll see what happens. But market opens on futures probably feels like it's going to be pretty painful, in my opinion. Liquidity conditions were different on the previous closing. That's true. Sentiment wasn't, though, was it? And that's the thing to note. And I think, don't forget, liquidity can be what liquidity can be. If everyone freaks out that actually 24.5% was what it came down, loads of people may exit their positions, which, in my opinion, is exactly what's happening right now. Because, yes, liquidity is a little bit tight over the weekend, but everyone's just freaking out about the fact that, well, futures going to do what they did. Maybe they don't. It doesn't look like it, by the way. Just taking a quick look at futures for tomorrow. Just to give you an idea, by the way, US 30 is looking terrible, and the Russell looks down about 50 points as well. So pre-markets look bad news. All right. All right, good. Okay, so that's kind of where we sit, right? With this whole China thing as well. But what's interesting with China, by the way, and we were looking at this, they actually are stacking Bitcoin like you wouldn't believe, which is wild. So a strict anti-crypto stance in China, they're now just 4,000 Bitcoin away from overtaking the United States. What? We also know they've been buying an absolute crap ton of gold, which is insane. And also, if you haven't, I am going to bring this up actually, because I think it's probably worthwhile. There's a really interesting video with Matt Horan, who is the Bitwise CIO, that I talk about in the video. And I think it's probably worth listening to it just dead quick, because he talks about the rotation of gold that I've been discussing for a while. And as much as it's like, is it or isn't it, it is an interesting part. So let me just fast forward to the, here it is, to the Matt Horan interview, right? Because I think you all need to hear it. Let me just turn it on to that, and close that. Okay. So FYI, by the way, this is why it's important to check out my YouTube videos. That's weird, isn't it? You can see me like in the background as well. So I'm going to do this, and then you guys will just think it's me. Look, here we go. Right, listen to this.
Gold gone skyrocketing. It's because of central bank buying. But here's the thing that people don't talk about. The central banks started buying gold in 2022. They bought 1,000 tons in 22, 1,000 in 23, 1,000 in 24, 1,000 more this year. But the price only really ramped this year. The reason was whenever you have more demand than supply, you have to exhaust the other people who are willing to sell. Since the ETFs launched, there has been more demand than supply for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, and for Solana. The ETFs are overwhelming the new supply, but you have to work through this process of OG holders who are willing to sell. Once those clear, then you'll see the kind of spike move that we saw in gold. We think that could happen in 2026 for Bitcoin and indeed for some of these other assets, because that demand is persistent. It's more than new supply, and eventually the sellers will exhaust themselves and we'll be off to the races.
So there you go. Matt Horan giving a pretty interesting view there of, I guess, where we are and what is potentially coming around the corner. So the idea is that, you know, banks have been buying gold the same as they've been buying Bitcoin. China's been buying gold and it's been getting Bitcoin. Like, pretty wild. Now, we don't know if it's been mined Bitcoin. We don't know if it's been bought in the open market, but it's kind of interesting that China is stacking sats. All right. V says, can you please answer? What was your question, V? I think I have answered it. I just don't think you've listened. No relief rally at the horizon. I said I agreed with you, yeah. Is that your question? I don't know if that's your question, by the way. Ones with the strong handles are worth more. Discussion. So yeah, worth noting here that China are consistently stacking the bags. Okay, so let's talk about it, right? We are in a world right now where the markets feel very uncomfortable, and actually we are about to see a potential dump arena reopened short, and 97 is printed. Nice. User 2516. Yeah. ETH USDT short or long. I mean, we're up to nearly 87,000 right now, but not quite. Again, my opinion, I would wait to see what the futures market does, but all the indications are telling us the market's going to dump. All right. So if you were going to trade it, then that would be where I would be more inclined. Again, not financial advice. I'm telling you what to do, but certainly that. Okay, so given the fact that China's buying that, what are any positives? Is there anything we can look at? Anything at all that says, maybe we get some moves? Maybe there's a positive somewhere out there. Is it going to be different? Is it going to be changed? Well, global M2, I talked about this yesterday, has just hit a brand new all-time high. So the amount of money that's been printed out there has skyrocketed and has hit a brand new all-time high. Well, this is, in theory, good news, all right? The Federal Reserve themselves are now about to print money. In fact, they're going to print money, they're going to sell them, and they're going to buy Japanese yen. All right, crazy. Don't believe me? This was literally done by a Bloomberg analyst and put there. It says the yen staged its biggest one-day surge in nearly 6 months on speculation that the Japanese authority could be preparing to mount an unusual market intervention and halt the currency slide. No wonder it's gone back up. Remember, also, we know that the Japanese government has dissolved. They're putting a vote out to their people. Pretty interesting. Japan has already tried to defend its currency many times on its own, but it failed in 22 and 24. Even the July 24 intervention only worked for a short time. So again, this could play out very, very interesting. Japanese finance minister and the country's top currency officials issued fresh warnings to speculators earlier this month after the yen weakened and the Japanese lost intervention. Now, what's important is they did keep their interest rates flat, which essentially would support anyone buying into the currency or trying to support it. So we might be about to see the Japanese yen come back. This could support people buying into cheaper money. The Fed creates dollars, sells them and uses those dollars to buy yen. It weakens the dollar, increases global liquidity, and wherever the dollar is intentionally weakened, asset prices usually surge. Remember, people get cheap money. That's what we've been saying forever. If you get cheap money, this is the good news. Bitcoin has one of the strongest inverse relationships with the dollar and one of the strongest positive relationships with the yen. All right, we've talked about that before as well. So there is still hundreds of billions of dollars tied into the yen carry trade. People borrow cheap yen and invest in stocks and crypto. I don't think it's as big as a lot of people believe it is, but that could be a thing. All right, so we might be about to see the Federal Reserve start to get a little bit more tasty. Now, this one's another interesting one. Guys, I think you need to see this TikTok, all right? Come here. Because these are some very, very interesting charts that I think you guys need to see and you guys need to be plugged into. So this is the moving average convergence divergence, all right? It is a mouthful, but it's worth noting what it is. Essentially, what you're seeing here is a MACD trend on a macro scale, all right? So you've got here the price on the left-hand side, which is the black line. You then have the MACD and the MACD signal, which is the red and the blue line. And then you've got the green and red histogram at the bottom, which tells you whether things are in profit or in loss. Now, what I want to note here is that you can see wherever we see an uptick in BTC, it always comes from a downtrend before. So we see a downtrend on MACD, and then we see the uptrend, and it happens every single time. Now, doesn't necessarily see we're going to pump to new all-time highs, but it does absolutely tell us that generally markets move when this moves as well. New all-time highs tend to come when we get huge spikes. So, for example, back here in 2017, we got the big spike in both MACD and in the histogram went negative before pushing us to the upside. 2021 bull market cycle was here. MACD generally goes super bullish. Then we get obviously the big push in on the all-time high. Well, what's happening right now, which is making me curious about what's happening here on the MACD. So you can see here, we've just come off the back of a red signal on the MACD. MACD is trending up. We want to see this continue to the upside. This would tell us, or history would tell us, that BTC would then start to rally up. But it's not just about MACD, okay? There's some other bits that go into this. That's a broader picture when you're talking about all of these smaller technicals. But the moving average could show us that this is about to push markets. Now, if you combine that with the capital rotation index, essentially showing us what people are doing in terms of Bitcoin or in stablecoin, you want to see people coming out of stablecoin and going into Bitcoin. Again, 2021, we saw accumulation hugely into BTC that came off a super flat period. Look at 2024, did exactly the same thing as well, and 2025 with these big spikes. We've just come off a negative, or currently in a negative trend, so that means people are coming out of Bitcoin and stablecoins entirely and going into cash. We want to see this convert back positive and then start another uptrend. Remember, with the last times we've gone negative on this indicator, this has then followed a big rally to the upside as well. You can see here, we followed a big rally. Here, we followed a big rally. All right, so all very, very similar. So you've got MACD that could be about to trend in the upside. You've got capital rotation. You also have invested wealth as of the 23rd of January. So this is essentially where people have bought Bitcoin. Now, you heard Matt Hogan say there, eventually sellers will come to an end. And that's when prices move back up. As it sits right now, as of the 23rd, that may move right now, capital invested, as in the invested wealth, currently sits at around $90,000. This essentially is telling us the average of where short-term holders got in at 90K. So whatever BTC is below this, all of these sellers are selling it at a loss. This is people freaking out. This is nervousness in the market, but it tells us once these people are done, then we may well start to see this push back to the upside. So 3 very, very important charts. Finally, the realized profit loss momentum. Again, look how insane this is. People are just dumping Bitcoin. But why are they dumping Bitcoin? This isn't because they're freaking out about the markets. They are dumping Bitcoin and they are buying gold. And this doesn't go for retail. This goes for institutions as well. BlackRock, I talked about it. They are dumping ETFs and they are dumping it into their mining outlooks. Loads of mining stocks are going absolutely insane. We'll take a look at those in just a second. And this, in my opinion, is exactly what is going on with these charts. So you've got loads of stuff going on there from a macro sentiment that tells us, look, it's a slither, but there is some opportunity still out there in markets. The DXY is, negative and absolutely pummeling itself into oblivion right now, which again is relatively good news. Plays out into exactly what we just said. So the DXY is dumping, the Japanese yen is moving up. Interesting, right? Interesting. We could actually even put the yen on here if we wanted to. If we want to put the... will it be this one? Is it this one? No, it's not that one. It's not that one, Mr. 2-Bit. It's the other way around. So we want yen to USD. Japanese yen. I don't really want futures though. Again, you can see here, look, the Japanese yen is spiking to the upside while we see the price of the dollar very much weakening. So again, this could be playing out exactly as people have said, in that the fact is, dump the dollar and pump the yen. It'd be very, very interesting what happens when markets do open as well. So yeah, I don't understand the dynamic. My limit order filled below my intended price today. Nice. What's going on, Joe Bro? Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Welcome in. So again, this could play out pretty interesting, if you ask me, over the sort of period. Now, let's take a look really quickly at expectations on futures markets. What should we be doing? Well, look at this. Futures markets, look, bad news, all right? So these are lots to the top. So look at the FTSE down. Look at the, these are from all over the world, by the way, but these are the US ones, all of which, with the exception of the S&P 500 volatility index, everything's really negative, by the way. Really, really negative. The Nikkei looks terrible, by the way. Look at this, 1155. Looks like it's going to dump 2% on openings. Oh my God. The Japanese market's going to collapse. The Hang Seng looks terrible at 0.5 as well. So remember, all of these markets open. So China and, China and the US are going to open these. Can we filter this, by the way? No, not really. That's kind of annoying. Unless we can... Do I click on that? Does that do anything? Not really. Just give me the Hang Seng. Okay. So again, lots of futures markets are opening bad. Do you think XRP will ever reach over $2 again? Yes. Yeah. 100%. Well, not 100%. I can't be 100%, but yes, I absolutely do. Something like 188 now. I just looked then and thought BTC had rallied today in 98K, but it hasn't. It was the DXY I was looking at. All right. Let's just keep this so I can see the price, by the way, here. Just as that's going on. But yeah, so we've got that US markets. Here we go. So you got the Dow Jones opening about 0.6 behind. The Russell's going to open 187. Tells us people don't want risk right now. Do not want risk. Micro Russell dumping as well. Outside of that, actually, the NASDAQ looks like it's going to open, which is kind of wild in fairness. But it has got a delay on the back of it. And then what have you got? Eurex futures markets all look bad as well. So definitely in a world where futures look like they're going to be pretty painful, especially things like the Hang Seng and the Japanese bond market looks terrible as well. So nice. When do you think? Anytime soon? Bitcoin as well as the market just dumped about $100 billion. So yeah, not super soon. I think we're going to have to wait and see and ride out this next couple of weeks, but we'll see. It just seems like it just seems like it's what you mentioned. Some forces are driving everything down to scoop it back up again. Yeah, exactly, Holmes. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, look, there's definitely a lot of arguments to say that there is still opportunity within this market. I've said a number of times before, it just feels off, this market, and I don't understand. Now, it doesn't help that gold's going absolutely insane. And like I said, BlackRock is dumping so much money. Look at this. Where is it? Is it this one? Yeah, so look at this. Just to give you an idea of why they're dumping loads of money in. So this is the BGF World Gold Fund. Essentially, this is loads of their mining companies, emerging markets, and all the rest of it. Look at it, 3.5% up. Like, what? What? It's insane. So yeah, BlackRock are in gold mining, like big and other mining as well, by the way. And so they're in, you know, copper, and these are all the things we're talking about as well. So BlackRock World Mining, BRWM. If you're curious, this thing is going wild as well. Essentially is yeah, look at this. So BlackRock World Mining delivered exceptional returns in 2025 with a number of managers. High conviction positions paying off. Again, gold miners have done particularly well for the trust as they have finally responded to high prices and falling cost pressures. So it's like a double negative, isn't it? While Trump brings the cost of diesel, energy down, like people can just mine more. Like it's freaking insane. Think about it. Like all of this gold. Oh, do you have to sign up for it? That's annoying. All of this gold and stuff that's coming, but look at this latest net gearing of 9%. It's wild, $1.4 billion, which is absolutely insane, by the way, with a 3.4% dividend yield. Think about it. You can invest in the BlackRock World Mining Company or World Mining ETF and get nearly 4%. That's better than some US treasuries. In fact, it's better than nearly every US treasury with the exception of the 10-year and the 30-year treasury. That's wild. It's wild when you think about it. So, like I said, all of this money that's been driven by Trump to drive markets down, he's driving energy costs down, which essentially is allowing them to mine cheaper, which means the gold price of gold goes up. It's like, it's just a death spiral of doom. But this is why my opinion is at some point this money converts back into the IBIT ETF. We've seen $1 billion inflows into this mother trucker, and I think personally we will see them again. It is just going to be about timing and when gold falls off a cliff. And it will fall off a cliff. At some point, gold will become too expensive and people won't want to get involved in it. That's when maybe when you look at gold versus Bitcoin, Bitcoin's the undervalued asset. It potentially then rallies back to the upside. So again, you can just see some of the performance here on ETFs. Crypto ETF net inflows of 139 out from 103 milli on the Bitcoin ETF as well. Solana and XRP ETFs continue to gain some strength, which is good. Scott, yeah, well, look, I think so as well. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate the you're awesome as well. Thanks, mate. You're awesome as well. Joe Bros says concerns of potential tariffs imposed on President Trump on Canada, Mexico, and China have contributed to the sell-off with the Nasdaq dropping 2.8. Yeah. Yeah, I think we were looking at this the other day, Holmes. So we looked at the price of, I mean, Bitcoin is dumping right now, which again, whenever markets are fearful, this is where market makers come in and absolutely steal your chips. So we looked at gold here. Let's do it on the weekly candles against BTC, for example. And yeah, whenever we kind of get this market, have we got this on the right thing? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Whatever this kind of did the same as it did before, we absolutely got this kind of big old push here on gold. So, watch out. It's hard to say because it kind of feels like it should be a bit more like that, really, shouldn't it? That's kind of the scale of where BTC is. But for some reason, I don't understand why gold is being super weird. I can't move it up. I need to take that off. All right. It's just been annoying. I can't really do it. But yeah, essentially, you're right. Whenever we see this kind of pump on gold, and remember, we see gold move when you get this. Look at this. This was Russia. This was FTX collapse. This was the previous Iran invasion or Iran bombing. Gold commodities skyrocketed. So at the minute, think about it. There's still a huge nervousness that Trump's going into Iran. Like there is a real concern with this market that, Trump's going to do it. Even when you look at the carrier strike groups and everything else is sat there, this is why gold's spiking again. So, yeah, we'll see. Crypto Vern's in the house. Good on Vern. It will come. Yeah, I agree. They have to recover fast to stop the bleeding or just keeps bleeding. Yeah, that's true. Is history repeating itself or market manipulation happening? I think it's a bit of both, really. Big players are sitting on cash right now. They should tell you where we're heading. Yeah, I agree. I definitely think, well, I've always said this. I am long-term bullish, short-term bearish. That's where I've been. I've been saying this now, since probably back into last year. Also, BTC has never traded for a long time below the production cost, which it currently is, I'm sure. Yeah, it is. I have that chart somewhere. Let me close these down dead quick. Let's leave that there for you guys. If you want to sign up to Bitunix, check it out. Worthwhile, in my opinion. Get on over there. Join nearly 400 people trading away and absolutely, by the way, crushing it, I would say. Now, I'm not saying trading's for everybody, but it is worth noting. Also, don't forget, join our free Discord. It is totally free, by the way, to get in there. If you want a little bit more, then grab a channel membership. It costs you about $8. Or you can drive it using our Whoop link as well on TikTok as well. And that gives you access to our premium Discord with our trade bots in there and everything else. It's highly recommended. It's like $6 or $7 a month. It's totally worth it. What was I going to look at? I was going to look at something. JFR, what's going on? Daniel, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. What was I going to look at? I was going to look at something. I've totally forgotten what it was. Help me out, people. Oh, that was what it was. I know what it was. Charts here. This one. Costs, wasn't it? It was mining costs, which I think is somewhere down here. Mining costs, supply, circulating supply. Where is it? Where is it? Mining. Here we go. Look. Mining revenue, hash price, profitable mining days. Estimate the number of profitable days showing how. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's going to give us an exact number, but it's going to be reasonably close. So you've got miners revenue here versus estimated cost. All right, cool. Yeah, this is it. So the miners revenue. Oh, perfect. This is actually exactly what we want to see. So the orange line is what the miners are getting back, and the blue line is the estimated cost. As you can see here, the orange line is above the blue line, but not by much. And actually, it's been trending the wrong way for a while here, actually. And then you've got percentage profitable days, which is pretty low, actually. So think of this. If you're a miner right now, would you rather have Aether or Flare? I did actually have Aether, but I sold it. So you've got 40, where are they at right now? Like 45% or something crazy like that is profitable for miners. It's insane if you think about it. Mouse, what's going on, buddy? So yeah, this probably isn't the best one, but certainly look at this. Green is the profitable, red is the unprofitable. You have a massive, massive problem here because you've got so much unprofitable days versus profitable days. Essentially, you know, where was this different back here? Look, back in 2018, we saw this crossover. Obviously, post-bull market starting to push back up again. You can see how this correlates to price as well back. So yeah, pretty interesting. And certainly would agree with where you say on that one, Holmes, for sure. So, yeah. The cost to price ratio for Bitcoin. I'll probably have that somewhere. I mean, I talked about this the other night as well, the sharp indicator, which tells us that essentially we are bottoming out on this chart. And actually, we could start to see this move back to the upside as well. I was hoping I could. I don't know how to turn it into a what do you call it? You know, like it's not like blinding everyone's face. Anyway, but yeah, these are a couple of key things to look out for, and certainly would give us the potential that there is some hope out there. But you know, whenever things like this happen, retail totally freaks out. Go to have a look at X. Do you know what I mean? Twitter X is like insane. Everyone's totally losing their mind. Everyone's now calling the end of the bull market, which, like I said, it may well be. I hope not. And I think there's definitely some arguments to say that it shouldn't be. But you never know. You know, if we get $1 billion outflows, we get all this kind of nervousness on ETFs, then yeah, we might be in for a bit of pain. Let's hit refresh. 376 was the US 30. So yeah, still about the same here on market future opens. So everything, by the way, on a lot of this is all about strong buys. Everyone believes that the stock market, insanely enough, is undervalued, or that is going to be undervalued. So, you know, this could come in and give us a little bit more. You know, we may see this dump on the Hang Seng. You know, China, Japan markets open. We see another further push down. Then we may see Europe buy in. We'll see. I don't think so, though. I think it's going to be just pretty painful. Just my opinion. But hey, let me know what you guys think. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Thank you so much for the follows. I appreciate it. Silver and gold and copper. Get in, leave crypto. The truth, yeah, we were talking about that. They are right now the player. My point, though, is this is insane. The RSI is absolutely oversold. It's overbought right now. The last time we saw that, we got a correction here. So the last time RSI was oversold this much, it was here, and we got that correction on gold. Now, obviously, it's pumped higher from that, but we've got a 10% correction, you know, off this pump. So again, I think there's nothing wrong with that, but in my opinion, you are definitely playing with risk, and you are increasing your risk for potentially decreasing the potential rewards on it. And at some point, you know, Bitcoin is, like I said, the undervalued asset. We'll see. Get more bullish than Tim share. It's probably not a bad shout. But let's close those two out. Let's close that out. I mean, where are we at right now with BTC? I mean, if you look here, if you're looking at let's put the 1 day chart up here for, can I make this bigger? Oh, I can. Well, not a great idea though, is it? In fact, can I take that back off? There we go. There we go. Do that. That's better, isn't it? That's better. Okay. So yeah, this is kind of where we are on BTC. We want to put a couple of extra indicators on here, which would be the EMA. Put it in yellow so we can sort of see what the deal is. I mean, what are we seeing here as a potential? I mean, for me, a long trade could be off 85 too. Like if you think about it, I mean, look at these. That was the long trade I took. That was a nice trade as well. And this was the short trade I took. So I mean, yeah, there could be an argument to say, hey, maybe there is a potential bounce here. What would the lower range be here? Around 85, 351. Wick down, grab the wick, potentially move to the upside. That could be one that we could look at. You know, if we got it, where was the Fibonacci running off, by the way? Sorry. There. So yeah, 86,745, what we want to do. Bro, just a friendly reminder, as you missed my above comment twice, can you please share Bitcoin Lightning Network referral code for the sign up, please? As it doesn't allow to sign up without a referral code. Oh, really? Bitcoin Lightning Network? As in the Bitcoin... What was it called? My recent video that I put out. Bitcoin is it Evergrow? Everlight. I can't remember what it is. What that? What was it called? Everlight. Yeah, Everlight. That one. RPM says the Great Reckoning. Goblin Town. We are definitely going to Goblin Town, unfortunately. In my opinion. Yeah, let me get you that one. So I make this wish. Right. Buy copy ASAP. Yeah, we were tracking. We were tracking. BAV, are you in the Discord? It's not working for me as well. It's just my internet's been super slow. I'll send it to you in the Discord. Sing ya. I know. I was watching it with the kids. Oh, let's pump it already. Let's do it. Axe, help. You should be the best one. Yeah, bro. Every lightning I'm on, I'm referring your recent video says unable to sign up without referral code. Okay. Yeah. Let me know behavior. Let me know you're in the Discord. Just type in the general chat and then I can grab you from there. But yeah, Act, I thought you were in stablecoin. Surely you're like, bro, this is cool. Like, dump it to oblivion, baby. By the way, if anyone just joined the Discord, remember you've got to complete the verification that gets you in. I don't think we've had any like weird scammers in there for ages, which is good. At this rate, we'll have a squat in Goblin Town because we won't be able to afford it. Yeah, why are we dumping, Sean? Unease on government potential shutdown and China tariffs. That's the problem. So yeah, and Trump threatening to go after him for 100% tariffs. But again, I thought we'd done with this. I thought this was like finito, but hey, we'll see. Where does the 3-day? Just curious here on a bigger time frame Fibonacci retracement. Where does that actually go to? Just out of curiosity. Out of pure curiosity, this would. Where's the? Yeah, there. Look, see, come here. 84,000. I mean, if you're going to go super macro, you could argue as an 84,000 retest. Look at this on the fib. This would be a strong on like the weekly, or if you were looking for a stronger, longer term play with low margin, 84 could be an interesting one. That could be an interesting layout, actually. Just setting weekly low like every Sunday. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I'm trying to stay bullish, positive with everyone. Yeah, JFR, I know the feeling. Like I said, it's hard yards. I mean, the weekly close is going to be bad news as well, by the way. It's going to be one of our, well, not the lowest close we've had, but it's going to be, well, it's not going to be far off, actually. It's not going to be far off. It's going to be the lowest weekly close we've had since way back here, like back in April of 2025. Well, if it pushes down any further, actually. If it pushes down any further, we actually had this one here. So 18th of December were pretty bad as well. So we'll see. The weekly close is going to be, well, I mean, is it important right now? I mean, it probably is for a market structure sentiment, but at the same time, it probably feels a little bit like it's like, whatever. Whatever. Don't forget, by the way, do hit the like button if you're brand new to the channel as well. Definitely consider subscribing. Andrew says we're all doomed. In the short term, maybe. Maybe. You know, if you think about 3 years' time, super bullish. Super bullish on 2030. Oh, bro. Terrible. Terrible. Yeah, hit the like button. Also, don't forget, tap the screen here on TikTok. Hit that follow button. Make sure you don't miss a beat with this market. Tomorrow will be a better day. Don't let them play you with your emotions. It's all part of the game. Maybe. Your positivity needs to be long-term. Then you can take the... Yeah, exactly, yeah. Everyone bearish has me feeling more bullish than I was ever. Well, true. True. I could see that narrative. I could definitely see that. Like, the market definitely tells one story. I mean, lots of people are uneasy about this. My view, by the way, is always, why is it selling off? Well, we know it's selling off because everyone's freaking out about the fact that the governments might be about to shut down and the fact that we might be about to see Iran getting, trumped. Let's call it that. Buy the red candles. I mean, that's generally a good idea. Let's, I think it's just, I just kind of quite looking at like looking at this just to see what's going on. Just see what's going on. Make sure we don't miss anything. So Iran airspace is pretty quiet on a Sunday night. Just saying. Although this, you want to see kind of, let's call them Western airlines flying over, which doesn't look like you've got many. What's that? What's that? Separan Airlines. The hell is that? Isham Air. Uzbekistan Airways. Yeah, I mean, I imagine loads of the like... What's that? Oh, what is this? That is a United States Air Force KC-135 Strato tanker. Okay, cool. That's exactly what we want to see. Jesus. Oh, dear. All right, good news. I mean, I think Trump's kind of said that they're doing some sort of, Middle Eastern tactical mission. But yeah, KC-135 heading into the Gulf, into the Persian Gulf. That is pretty interesting. So what have you got there? You got Iran Air going to Tehran. All right. All right. Hopefully there's no more K-35s. That's bad news. So any with an NA on it is like, oh, that's another one. What's that one? Oh, that's another KC-135 Strato tanker. All right, cool. Okay. We're all doomed. Yeah, so there is a lot of activity out here with, some KC-135s. Although it doesn't make any sense to go in on a Sunday night. I don't think anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't feel like that makes any sense. Okay, I can't see any of the NA. So there's definitely some KC-135s. By the way, the KC-135s are essentially what they've got to use to refuel like the B2s and all that kind of crazy stuff. So yeah, that is why they're there, as well as airborne military refueling. So we will see. All right, we will see. Okay, currently Bitcoin holding 86,549. We need to see it push a little bit higher. I want to see 87 would certainly be where I'm at. Just taking a quick look here on X. I don't know if there's anything coming out right now. Why? Because Sunday is a good day. I'm not sure what. Well, because normally Trump's playbook is do it on a Friday, which gives the weekend for markets to digest it. If he goes in tonight, you've got market futures open at the same time. It would literally pummel the stock market. Remember, can't afford the S&P 500 to collapse. He needs it for midterms. Yes, there's loads of stuff about Minnesota for sure. Kathy Wood on Bitcoin still in it to win it. India to cut import tariffs on cars to 40% from as high as 110 under the trade deal with EU. So EU has gone to India. All right, cool. All right. Good. Markets are walking into multiple volatile triggers. Canada tariff threat of 100% on Monday. Government shutdown Monday. January consumer confidence on Tuesday. Fed decision with Powley babes on Wednesday. I mean, that's going to be a big one. I trade previous sessions, high, low, break, retest, consumption, a nice strategy. Nice. I like it, Cole. Yeah, I traded had a nice little short as well. UFO 6342, about to sort them all out. Oh, dear me. Ravi, don't spam the chat. Come on, you're just going to get yourself yeeted, bro. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. You can come in once. Yeah, it's all right. And one of the mods will get it. December PPI inflation data comes Friday as well. Apple earnings, as well as you've got Meta, Tesla, and Microsoft all coming in as well. So, yeah, some pretty big ones. Coinbase, rug pumps, rug regs. What's that scam? I mean, Coinbase is definitely an interesting one right now. But yeah, some big decisions coming this week, particularly for data. I mean, I thought this had been repeased. Yeah, no, where are the mods? Oh, no, he has said sorry, though, so it's fine. Ravi, no dramas, all right? No dramas. All good. Don't come in and spam it, though. You don't need to. It has a risk of real. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Mods making a sandwich. Bad news when none of the mods are here, isn't it? Bad news. Bad news. All right, anyway. Good. Only spam XLP. Sandwench. I love that. All right. So, Bitcoin is holding at this point here. We've got a big week ahead of us, which is why I think we might actually get some potential upside momentum. We've got some KC35s messing around in Iran, but I'm not seeing anything being posted as like, oh, look out for this, or this might end up playing badly. So, Trump is speaking on the 27th of January. I just checked the live on Fox. Meanwhile, it looks like today he will chill as there is ice storm out there, and tomorrow once he closes. Yeah, I mean, I've heard. The Sunday playbook is not his style. It would have been Friday. Been here since the start. Forget to smash the like button. Thanks, Viva. I appreciate it. Broski. Oh, send a wrench there. Yeah, all right. We'll check it out. I'll have a look. I'm mod on several other crypto channels. Nice, bro. 1 minute supply demand is better than a 5 minute chart. We looked at the supply demand ratio, actually. All right. So that is that. Okay. Any questions you guys have got? This is kind of your bit. Anything that's on your mind? Any views, opinions? Shout them out and we'll read them out in the chat. Would a stronger yen have an impact on Jasmine? No, it would have a negative effect on Jasmine. You want a weaker yen and a... do you want a weaker yen? Yeah, you want a weak... No, you want a... I don't know, actually. Yeah, I think you want a stronger yen, actually. A stronger yen, a weaker dollar. Is that right? I think that's right. I mark zones at 1 minute and then trade on the 5. Nice. Nice, bro. Let's go on 37. Good to see you, man. So Steve Witkoff's still in Russia. So that's not really doing anything for us. Loads of people obviously super bearish. Don't care about those. Someone who can't ball. The guy that climbed the bloody like massive building. Like what the heck is that guy about? Investors in US equities, hedge funds, retail, and professional investors have been net selling US stock for 7 consecutive weeks. See, Trump's got to fix that as well. Net selling jumped to 6.3 billion last week, up from 2.6 billion in the prior week. The rolling 4-week average is down $2.5 billion after being positive since early August. So he needs to fix that as well. Kevin, how low do we go? I mean, there is an argument here. If you go to let's go to the 12-hour because you get a slightly better, we could go, worst case scenario, we're going to Goblin Town. Like we are literally going to Goblin Town, 67, 65K. You're looking for maybe a bounce around 86.7. If we probably lose 86.7, you're probably going to get a retest of around 85K. And then we probably head into Goblin Town. Yeah, but we'd love to know what and get that background light. Yes, but would love to know where can I get that background light we have behind you. It says too. Also, would love to know the story behind your channel name. I love it. Bring positivity. So that you won't be able to get them anymore. They are they're called nano leafs. They don't even make them anymore. So I've had them years. And the name stems from my original thoughts of how I invested in coins, which was look for 2 bits of information. Who did it and what is it going to do? They were my 2 things that when I was ever invested in it. And it was, I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit of a play on BitBoy crypto as well. All right, let's just call it as it is. All right, because it was like, oh, BitBoy, 2-bit. Oh, this kind of works. So yeah, that's kind of where it all came from. But yeah, you could get them off eBay, I think. They're like super, super old. But do I see BTC landing 70K? I mean, it could. It could. If you said super bear case, how do we get to that point? Government shutdown, government shut down, loads of nervousness, gold keeps pumping, commodities keep going, hit by fanboy. Not anymore. Does he even live stream anymore? I checked his, I jumped into a live stream and it was just really sad. Like really sad, actually. Yeah, just really sad. I don't know if he still does it or not, but yeah, I mean, the fact is that 65k is my like ultra bear case, which is, like I said, government shut down, commodities still rip. There's some sort of announcement that we're not doing anything in terms of strategic reserve. Interest rates go back up, which people think is crazy, but could definitely happen. Like interest rates could go back up. Some people in the Fed have even called for it, by the way. So it'll be interesting to see where the vote goes on Wednesday and who goes. We already know Stephen Mirren's going to say. Now, the other big thing is obviously what happens when we get Rick Ryder, if he was to be the person that gets appointed. That's essentially BlackRock getting in there as well. But yeah, BitBoy X. Is he still posting? I don't even know if he's still posting, to be honest. Streamed a month ago. So he posted something a month ago. Shorts. I mean, these look like they're really old, actually. And then videos. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's doing anything. Fairness. 3 months ago. 4 months ago. Yeah, look. Yeah, looks like he hasn't posted anything for a while, actually. Looks like he's not posted anything for a while. But, yeah. Sad, really. Rumors, Nano Ledger, IPO. Yeah, I saw that, but their valuation's insane, though. Are they valuing themselves at like $19 billion or something crazy? I heard the Ledger IPO is like insane. Insane. Nah, it's nice. I love it, bro. You bring positivity. That's why I keep myself awake and daily for you. It's come live. It's 4 a.m. here, but loving the knowledge you share. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that, buddy. I'm gonna put that comment up on the screen. Look, there you go. Behave. What a legend. Yeah, I think so, Ver. That's exactly what happened. Surprise is still going, man. Look like, yeah. Honestly, it's wild, isn't it? It's wild. I mean, don't forget, we live streamed the whole, like, collapse. BTC goes to 83k, I will DCA. Did you buy back in, Axe? I missed that. Did you buy back in? I thought you were all in stablecoin. Did you buy back in, Axe? I'm trying to see if you've already answered that question, because I feel like I may have asked you to do it, but... I appreciate, hey, Axe, thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you guys for sure. Like I say, I'm trying, I'm working hard. I'm analyzing if I told you some of the stuff I was doing to like analyze content and like look at everything, it's insane at the minute. It is insane at the minute. And yeah, this sounds really selfish, by the way. And I don't mean it to be bad. I don't mean it in a bad way, but I just want the channel to blow up. And I actually think this is a really selfish point, and you guys can tell me what you want. I can take the feedback. I actually think my content's good. I think it's good. We go deep in some research. We absolutely feel like we're ahead of the market, or I feel like I'm there like the day before most other people. I mean, I'll give you an example, right? Let me give you an example. And don't hate on me just for chilling my channel a little bit, right? I know you guys are here, but let me just show you something which I think is interesting. So let's click on my channel. Let's go to view my channel. Let's take a look at the videos that I've released recently, okay? So I released this video here over a day ago talking about BlackRock's playbook, right? The fact that they are going to be essentially putting someone from BlackRock into the Federal Reserve if everything goes right. This is like literally, I released this not today, but yesterday, right? What did Altcoin Daily put out recently? Well, they put out a video about BlackRock essentially getting to the Federal Reserve. Look, today they put theirs out. Like we're a day ahead of Altcoin Daily. Like, you having a laugh? Content is great, dude. You cover everything. Thanks, mate. I appreciate it, Damien. I only just started with a BTC. I plan to buy weekly. Nice, mouse. More Jasmine videos. Yeah, first time watching. You're making progress. You're reaching new highs. Hey, nice. Love that. Apparently lost his house, etc., and is now homeless on the bench. Really? It's actually true, Bitunix. Here he goes. But yeah, so if you do want to support, by the way, obviously hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It is dead simple as well. You can come over here, click this join button. This gives you channel membership. It does give you access to our premium Discord as well. And again, just, watch some videos, drop a comment, do all that good stuff. We have the community tab as well, where you can come over here. You guys can post on this. If you're subscribing to the channel, you can post all over here. Even if you see, please answer some of these quotes. So look, you can see here, look, which videos do you prefer? XRP. Again, what do you prefer? Lots of people prefer the charts and potential next move. Obviously, I'm going to putting some of these stuff out. I'm trying to get still loading up on Ondo. I mean, Ondo just onboarded 200 treasuries, which is pretty bullish if you ask me. You're doing a great job, bro. Your content is lit. Yeah, be always saying new change. It's hard to find such genuine content creators. You are the best. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's definitely a true. Yeah. I'd like to think that if the channel explodes and this time next year we're sat here at like 500,000 subscribers, that we should be okay. I don't think I'll be flexing in any sort of weird suits or any Lambos. Like that's not my style at all, by the way. What I will do is I promise if I do ever get to a point where I can buy a Lambo, though, I promise to do a vlog from it and drive to pick a couple of people up. I'll definitely drive to pick homes up from Scotland and we'll just do a bit of a drive around in the Lambo. But yeah. Yeah, 100% Mouse. Yeah, we're running an IPO for my Lambo. Can you imagine that? That'd be wild. That would be wild. I'd love it, though. I'd love it. Now, look, I appreciate you guys. All I ever ask, hit the like button, drop a comment on some videos. That helps more than you guys will ever know. So, look, I appreciate you guys for sure. And like I said, the idea is we do it together and we learn as we go along. Remember, we've looked at some of the previous videos I've put out and they were bad. Welcome to the 2-Bit Crypto channel. Tonight we're going to be talking about crypto and it's definitely going to go up over the next few minutes. So tune in and subscribe. Anyway, Jimmy tries to be in Cuny's Lambo. I definitely would do that, by the way. Good. Look at this. This is an intro on Scott Besant. Scott Besant giving us a nice little expo here. I could not be more upbeat about the prospects of the American economy in 2026, including manufacturing jobs. See, I told you this is going to be a big thing. I told you manufacturing jobs are going to be big. They're pumping it. Thanks to President Trump's economic agenda, we are seeing true blue-collar boom driving a burst of construction jobs with the morph into good factory jobs for hard-working Americans. How are they going to convert it, though? That's the question. Watch a guru, Justin. Justin, some breaking news. This one's for you, Tomato Pete. Oh, they say Tama days. Yeah, I know. Canada says it has no plans to sign a free trade deal with China after President Trump threatens 100% tariffs. Boom! Market's going to skyrocket. Let's go. Oh, really? Come on. We were pinning the hopes that was one of the reasons why the markets are dumping. Doesn't look like it. I'm interested in channels that do deep dive and commentary for everyday hustler. Also, community of honest folk. Hey, welcome. Welcome. Protect your XRP. Message me for more info. No, don't message Lewis. He's trying to take your XRP off you. Casey, get rid of him. Don't message anyone that asks you to message them. Absolute choppers. I mean, that's tactical, though. I can appreciate the grind, but see you later. Hold on, Casey. You already knew that breaking news. Oh, I'm sorry. Vern, I am down for loads of alts. Just hope some come back from the... Yeah, well, I mean, some of them are that bad right now that it's almost like genuinely, this sounds insane, but I look at my portfolio on days like this and it's not actually that bad. Why? Because they're so low, they can't even go any further. Think about it. AVAX, $11.39. A 10% dump on AVAX is $1. Think about that. Think about it for a second. It's like, man, it can't go any lower. Oh, maybe I'll have a look at it, Casey, after the stream. So like AVAX dumping, Aerodrome at 44%. You're like, at 44%, sorry. It's like, how much lower can it actually go before it becomes a problem? It's like, oh my God, Jesus. Anyway, let's take a quick look at Aerodrome, by the way, just purely out of curiosity. I don't know what their APR is right now. It's probably absolutely awful, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it can. That's true. It can literally go to zero. Joe says, I know you told me your seed phrase, but I forgot. Can you... Yeah, no dramas. 4.5%. Bruh. 4.5%. Like, what the heck is that? It's wild. ENA is one of the worst charts. Litecoin looks pretty bad too. I mean, yeah, I mean, we haven't even looked at any of those, have we? We could take a look at those. Litecoin, I've been saying for ages. Someone, I can't remember who it was now. I watched someone's live stream, like a fairly big crypto YouTuber. They were like, bought some Litecoin today. And you're like, am I missing something with Litecoin? But I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not. That is not what I wanted. That's a stable coin. Where is Litecoin? Here it is. $66. Wow. Yeah, Litecoin. Ouch. Woo, Litecoin looks terrible. I mean, it'll probably get a pump here, like say 21, 2017. The bull market will be kind to Litecoin. It always is. It always is. And, but yeah, I mean, that looks terrible right now. What did you say the other one was? ENA. Zafar, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, ENA looks as bad as well. I mean, look at the numbers. It's down 89% from all-time highs. It's like, oh, bro. I changed my XRP 179 buy order to 155, looking like a shutdown. Yeah, probably not a bad shout, Joe. Again, though, you think how much has already been priced in and how much lower are we actually going to go? I mean, BTC at 86.3 does feel like it's weakening. Does feel like it is going to head down further as well, which, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Is 82 on the cards? Probably 84.3 is the first one. We'll see. We'll see. I bought Litecoin on the top of the highest green. Ouch, mouse. Ouch, the FOMO buy. The FOMO buy. Never a good idea. Never a good idea. Anyway, right, everybody. That does bring us towards the end of the stream. We've been live about an hour and 20 minutes. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, 100% Mr. Jake. Mr. Jake support. Come on, you can do better than that. Don't message Mr. Jake support. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow night, hopefully with some better news. But as of right now, the pre-markets look terrible. Be very cautious. Trade sensibly because the markets may be about to get worse. But we'll be breaking that down. Look out for content coming out tomorrow as well. We'll go into all of what's going on with the government shutdown and how this is going to affect your crypto bags. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. 4 p.m. Eastern. We're back here talking all about it tomorrow. Until then, thank you so much for tuning in. You have a great day. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.